Title: The Tea Shop at the Edge of Tomorrow. In a quiet part of the old city, tucked between a forgotten bookshop and a crumbling archway, stood a tiny tea shop with no name on its door. Those who found it swore it had never been there the day before. And yet, to the weary and the wandering, it seemed to appear exactly when needed. The tea shop was owned by an old woman named Amara. Her hair was silver like moonlight, and her eyes held galaxies if you looked long enough. She served tea in delicate, mismatched cups, and each brew tasted faintly of memories one had nearly forgotten. One rainy evening, a young man named Rayan stumbled in, drenched and lost, the weight of 1,000 decisions pressing on his shoulders. He had run away from a life mapped out for him, a job he despised, an engagement arranged for convenience, not love, and a family that never listened. Amara didn't ask questions. She poured him a cup of steaming tea that smelled of jasmine and storms. As he sipped, he found himself speaking of things he'd never told a soul. Dreams of painting, fears of disappointing everyone, the ache for freedom. Amara only listened, nodding now and then, her hands gently resting on the counter as if steadying time itself. When he finished, she placed a tiny brass key in his palm. "This unlocks a door you haven't yet found," she said softly. "When you do, don't hesitate. Walk through." Rayan blinked, confused, but when he looked up again, the tea shop was gone. He was standing under the same archway. The rain had stopped, and in his pocket lay the little key, warm, as if alive. For weeks he kept it close. Life pressed on, but every time he doubted, he felt the key. One dawn, he found himself in front of an old studio for rent, hidden behind an ivy-clad gate. The key slipped perfectly into the lock. Inside, light poured through broken windows onto dusty canvases left behind by someone else who once dared to dream. And there, among the forgotten paints and sunbeams, Rayan took his first breath as the man he was meant to be. Some nights, years later, when the city sleeps, people say they see an old woman sipping tea outside his studio, watching, smiling, before she vanishes with the morning mist.